reality shows, rap videos, magazines. What's causing black women to be seen as less valuable than any other ethnicity of woman?
In this hip hop era, that's all you see is that you have to be this size, your butt has to be this big, you need to be able to shake it this way, and this is how much money I might give you, and then you have to perform some sort of sexual act.
When a young girl grows up and she's looking at these images on BET, you know, because you got to be cool. You got to know the latest music, the latest fashions. And where do you go get that from? You get that from music and the culture, MTV, BET, whatever.
If you always see that on TV all the time, you're just automatically going to go straight to that thing that you're so familiar with.
Back in the days of the old school rhythm and blues, the way women dress versus now, sex, they say sells.
Music mostly is about sex. Back in the day, maybe it was more about love, I don't know, but sex.
And actually has affected the way women dress.
Because the media is all, it's sex. When my daughter was listening to Taylor Swift and Hannah Montana, whatever, oh, that was good.
Now we have our young men wanting their girlfriends to dress like the girls on TV. But girls are just doing what their boyfriends want them to.
Videos and stuff like that. I don't know if they can be a little provocative, but it's about having fun. The big picture is about having fun.
Music pretty much has such a powerful influence on culture, and when you paint a picture, a constant picture of something, you know, and there's information that's repetitious, we all know that, it begins to manifest, you begin to see the things that people are thinking and believing.
So now she sang us some Nicki Minaj ever had, and I pull it out, and she don't say the words, because we don't, you know what I'm saying, listen to the explicit version, but it's the message is being sent to our daughters. It's the message being sent to our youth, and it's crucial, because what good come out of there?
Before your music sells, you gotta be in just like underwear and stuff like that. That's not really good for my own take. That's not good.
Okay, this is Toya. We're back with the scenario. I'm here with Kia Jarma and Amika Hunt. We've already discussed the images that we've seen on television. I would really like to discuss the images that we're seeing as regards to music. And of course that would incorporate music videos, but also with our music, and in regards to, has this contributed to what we feel is an open season on black women? I think, particularly for me, and I mean, anybody that knows me, Kia, you know me, and Mika, we just met, I love music pretty much more than anything. And so I remember, you always hear somebody say, back in the day, you know, men really knew how to talk to a sister, you know. And really, if you did not know how to talk to a woman, you could listen to New Edition, you could listen to DeBarge, you could listen to, and you could at least get some help. Right now,
we lost.
If you try to get help from some of these songs that you hear, and how you're supposed to talk to and how you're supposed to approach a woman,
I'm nervous.
You're gonna be in a lot of trouble.
I mean, it's a lot of trouble.
Yeah, Amika, what do you think about the perception of women in music right now? And you're an artist.
Yeah, so that's why I'm just like sitting here and trying to say, well, how can I say this? I think that it's too many of us that are trying to be the other artist. Instead of having our own personality, we get into what type of clothes, you know, what's out there, what they're doing, the makeup, the clothes you're not wearing. I'm going to use, for an example, Kelly Rowland and Mariah Carey.
You know what? I really did not want to even mention her name. But go ahead. I didn't have to since you did, so that's fine. We can discuss it now.
I was absolutely in love with Mariah Carey. Mariah before she got divorced from her husband. Like, you know, the old Mariah. And then it's like when she got divorced, she just became like this sex symbol. You know, you're on MTV Cribs with lingerie, taking baths in the tub, and you know, you got all this stuff going on in your music. And then Kelly Rowland was sweet, you know, innocent. And then this last video, she came out with motivation. The first time I seen it, I was like this. I was covering my own self up, and I'm like, my God, Kelly. I mean, I almost felt like that I was on the screen, and it was just sort of embarrassing to me because that's not the Kelly I know, and that's not the Mariah that I know. And now that they've become different people, I no longer can relate to them anymore,
Right.
or the type of music that they're doing. So music plays a big part in our kids' lives. I mean, especially our children, because if they don't know their homework, they know every single word to every song that comes on the radio. And then you got Nicki Minaj, you got Lil Kim's, you know.
Actually, I want to go back to something you said about Kelly Rowland, and I want to direct this towards Kia, who's in PR. I remember when Kelly Rowland's album came out just this past week, and I've seen some of her appearances, and I've heard the record. And I remember speaking with someone who I'm friends with and saying, when did Kelly Rowland turn into the new Adina Howard? Like, what really happened?
Like
only because before, when I think Kelly's had about 2 albums previously, and it wasn't until she came out with Motivation, which is very sexually charged, and was on stage with Trey Songz at the BET Awards and ripped her shirt off, you know, like Janet did. Then all of a sudden it was, oh, well, she's almost bigger than Beyonce now, I've heard people say. My point is, and that's why I'm directing this towards Kia, is the industry sending out this message that, yes, Kelly, you had 2 records and they were okay, but if you really want to be taken seriously as an artist, if any black woman wants to be taken seriously as an artist, you're going to have to do something that's so sexually charged that finally gets you put out there. What do you think about that, Kia?
Okay, half of it, and this is from the PR side, so this may not be from the personal side.
Okay.
The PR side, half of it would be the label or whoever saying, yes, you absolutely need to do some things differently. Why? Because we're not able to put you on an end cap at Target or Walmart, and no, we're not able to book you for this show in Amsterdam because they want, you know, those type of things are realistic conversations that happen in the industry. So that's half of it. The other half is what I've seen with a lot of our women, which is that they become more liberated. We can talk about Kelly. We can talk about Raven-Symoné. We can talk about Jordan Sparks. We can talk about a lot of those women who aren't necessarily the level of Nicki Minaj. I mean, and I like Nicki Minaj, so I want to be, you know, clear that I'm not saying one thing over the other person, but I'm saying they get a sense of liberation of, oh shoot, I'm sexy. And so they emote it through their music and their videos. Carrie Hilson was another really interesting example. Video very similar in terms of the way she looked as Kelly Rowland's Motivation. She had a video that was hugely viral but wouldn't even be played on television.
I remember that.
I can't remember what the name of the song was. Great song, but yes, it was a lot of pelvic, thrusting, and you seeing a lot of things you didn't think you were gonna see from her. But I think a lot of it is as they get older, we're used to seeing absolutely Kelly Rowland be, one part of Destiny's Children. That was Beyonce and her girls, and then you see Mariah Carey really as a young adult who was married to a very older man who was controlling her career. So all of a sudden, they wake up one day and say, "Oh, I want to be liberated. I want to be free." So it's part of both issues, both sides. And so I guess, do we blame them for being publicly like, "Hey, I'm sexy now," or do So that's part of, I think, what the mindset is. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's what I've seen, is that one part is, the industry saying, you need to do something different. Raven-Symoné can't be that So Raven forever. We need to start seeing leg. We need to start seeing little cleavage. And that's what she started to do. She's a businesswoman, and so she's going to still remain respectful, but she's now going to be on red carpets looking more adult. And then on the other side, we have women who are turning into women before our eyes. And so that's a part of it, because if you just think about the people we talked about. So Carrie Hilson, Mariah Carey, Kelly Rowland, Raven-Symoné. We think about those people, they have literally turned into adults in front of us.
Okay, well, let me offer this then. If you're saying that women like Kelly Rowland, Carrie Hilson, Raven-Symoné, and it takes them being, their liberation means I'm sexy now, then how is it that we can have an artist like Adele, who is fully clothed, fully full-figured, and has the highest selling record this year?
But she'll never be sexy.
But that's okay. It's okay. Because this is the thing. I think my point is that we can have Adele be who she is and be very soulful as a white woman, just soulful, period, just as a person. And then, but in order for women like Carrie and Kelly and other women to make it, well, then you're going to have to be more sexual. Why is that? Why is that?
Well, there's a very distinct difference in what Adele looks like and what Kelly, Raven, Jordan.
But we're talking about sales. If we're saying that that's what you need to do to sell,
no,
that's not what Adele needs to do to sell.
I don't think it's necessarily all sales. I think that some of it is, I can't necessarily put a promotional ad up for you, or I'm trying to sell you in this other, for this reality show, and they don't want a fat girl. That's a reality. I think I just heard someone say, you either be perfect as a black person or you don't do it at all. To our friend in the sound room. But that is very true. And we can go through the list of, we are okay with an Amy Winehouse being drunk at shows. We're okay with a Lady Gaga. You have to remember, Lady Gaga, when she was a regular chick, no one was checking for her. When she was sitting behind a piano playing beautiful music, no one was thinking about her. Of course, everybody has their way that they have to do something different. But as a black woman, you gotta be really different. The reason why Beyonce still wears catsuits and she's too old to be wearing them is because that's what people need to see her in. To continue to buy her albums and buy into the brand called Beyonce. I'm just telling you, even if we don't feel that, even if we feel like, no, she's amazing, if she put all her clothes on stage, we'd be like, oh, she's like somebody's grandmama. What's up? I'm just telling you, there's a difference between black performers and white performers, and we can look through the years and see the very differences.
Amika, how do you think music today and how particularly male artists speak to women, how do you think that affects our community as far as how black women are perceived?
It does affect our community in a negative way, for the simple fact of what they say about women in songs, or how they say it, or what they do to them and with them. I had a young man come up to me and say, hey baby, why don't you take your glasses off and shake your Laffy Taffy for me?
What's a Laffy Taffy?
Thank you. I said, first of all, I am
candy, and
I said, first of all,
banana flavor.
I am over 30 years old.
Watermelon.
And I'm too old to be taking off my glasses and shaking anybody's Laffy Taffy. And second of all, I don't even know what the Laffy Taffy is. So, and even the way that we talk is messed up. It's jacked up. Hey girl, hey gal, hey girl, what's up? What your name be? That comes from the music.
Okay.
Yeah, it does come from that. Because we got these different people on the stage. Waka Flocka, I be her this. I can't even tell you the words that's in the song. The only time it's so bad that I don't even club. The only time I'm in the club is when I'm performing. And once my performance is done, if there's nobody else that I want to see, I leave, because I cannot stand all this ha 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 in my ear, and all these young kids liking the songs and knowing them, and they with these little bitty skirts on and out there dancing. And the minute that a guy touched them inappropriately, you want to go off, but you on the floor with no clothes on, and you upset because he's touching you. But you put yourself out of there. So back to Kia, is it really them becoming liberated, or is it really the record label saying, hey, well, you got to do this? And some of our young ladies out here that are watching Nicki Minaj and whoever else and Beyonce in the catsuits are not going to grow up and be these people that they are, but am I going to dress and act that way because they say that this is what a beautiful black woman is?
And things like that do affect our relationships, and that's actually something we're going to talk about in the next segment. The thing that I hate to talk about the most so many times with this hateful 70% theory. So that's what we're going to talk about in our next segment.
My name is Angelita, and I feel that black women are misunderstood, and that's the scenario.
I'm Sinceria. I'm from Lorain, Ohio, and that's the scenario. Stacy, African American, master's degree, no children, and that's the scenario.
This is Billy, God is love, and that's the scenario.
Hey, it's Michelle, and I want you to know that you dare not die before you meet the best version of yourself. And that's the scenario.
Sometimes I shave my